But we're going to start with a little game of headlines from the future. Here's how it works. Our producer, Tyler Mowbray, sent us an email and said, give us a headline from the future. You can pick the date. You can pick the subject. We're going to dive into it. Here's a little preview of what's taking place. For those of you that are reading closely into this headlines from the future graphic, you can see up there, it does note that Jake Bobo had 3 touchdowns in week 1.
Of course.
Which is a totally reasonable headline to expect. But, Mike, we're going to give you first billing. What is your headline from the future, and when does it take place?
All right, so this headline is coming Thursday, September 12th, 2024. So this is, we're like recapping week 1. It's during the week. We're looking back at the transactions from the waiver wire after week 1. And the headline is, Blake Corum was the most dropped player in ESPN fantasy leagues this week after the rookie was outsnapped 53-6. Are you kidding me? By Kiron Williams against Daniel's Detroit Lions in week number 1. Yeah. So, yeah, look, I mean, tough break for those investing way too much capital. And Blake Corum, I don't know if anyone sitting to my left has done that quite a bit in our mock drafts that we've done.
I wonder who you're talking about.
Yeah, could it be
screen left or actual left? Two differentiating.
This left right here. High five.
Fine.
I'm not getting. I don't think I'm going to get many high fives today. I'm just going to say. Yeah, look, I'm not the biggest Blake Corum fan. I was a little underwhelmed by the efficiency at the collegiate level. He was down lower in my running back rankings. I don't know where you ended up with him in your rankings, but
6 or 7.
Yeah, 6. Yeah, he was about the same vicinity for me, but that was lower than a lot of people.
Yeah.
So, and I believe in Kiron Williams. The guy was just so good last year, and you could scale back his workload a little bit, and he's still going to be a fantasy force. I've been drafting him a ton. Now in the second round is where you can get him, and I just think that's what's going to happen week 1. You're just going to see Kiron just get a huge edge over the rookie. Maybe we even see a little Boston Scott in there, Ronnie Rivers mixed in there. I'm just leaning into Kiron Williams.
I'm going to rain on your headline.
So this is fake news or real life is the question I was going to follow up with.
Well, but here's the reason that that's a tough answer is because I believe that the real life part could be that Kiron Williams outsnaps him that much in the beginning. We all know Sean McVay tends to love Kiron Williams, and we saw what happened last year when he just couldn't help himself and he was overusing him. But you know what happens when you do that? The wheels fall off, and at some point something can happen. And we learned anything about running backs that you need insurance in this league. So what I don't think is true about your headline is that I don't think people are going to rush to drop him because they're going to be patient and understand that if he does outsnap him 53-6 in week 1, by week 3 they'll be needing Blake Corum.
I don't know. When you have and you're in a 10 or 12 team league and you have a guy that played just a handful of snaps, usually, and post week 1 is the busiest waiver wire week. Yeah. Those are the guys that go. I think like A.J. Dillon was like the most dropped like last year or 2 years ago. Because same kind of thing. Just wasn't on the field.
Anytime you can go grab Kevin Ogletree after a 2-touchdown performance for the Cowboys.
Well, look at. But here's the thing. That might not work out. It might have been a bad plan, but people are still going to do it.
Of course they're going to do it. So we can split the difference here. First of all, Kiron Williams did play the highest percentage of snaps of any running back in the NFL last season.
Right.
You know what the number was?
It was like 98% or something.
On the field, yes.
Yeah,
like 80% or something.
Even more than that, 83.7%. Yeah. Higher than Christian McCaffrey, who, by the way, played over 80% of the total snaps, even with not playing in Week 18. So 2 guys who were kind of in a different tier of total playing time. I'm going to split the difference here in this regard. I think Mike is accurate in his assessment that it'll be the Kiron Williams show, so much so that we're like, why was Blake Corum even active on Sunday Night Football? But we are encouraging people to not do what Mike is forecasting they will do, is to be a bit more prudent with your waiver wire adds and drops after week 1. That's where I think, like, Stephania's encouragement is here to tell you people out there, don't be a numbskull. Hold on to Blake Corum because even if he is outsnapped 53-6 in week 1, if something were to happen in Kiron Williams, and I hate that I'm even bringing this up, Mike, but if something were to happen, Blake Corum would catapult, maybe not all the way up to where Kiron Williams is in your rankings or your projections, but he would be a top 15 back, I would imagine, given the investment the Rams made in him.
Yeah, volume is king. And again, their next up running backs are Ronnie Rivers and Boston Scott. You know, and they might not be done. I'd keep an eye on that. But look, they
unretiring at the end of August.
That's right. Bringing back Todd Gurley, so who knows? Yeah, look, I obviously I'm just having a little bit of fun with that. And I tend to agree. I like to use my bench for those kind of guys who, you know, the insurance players that could be. There's even some of those at wide receiver. I've talked about Romo Junze. He's one of my favorite targets in drafts because of what would happen if one guy gets injured. So no doubt about it. But again, post week 1, sometimes you're going to be like, this is a guy that has no standalone value. There's a guy in waivers, say in a 10-team league that had a big week 1. You know, Jermaine Burton, you know, let's say he has 2 touchdowns in week 1 for the Bengals and looks like the real deal. 10-team league, you might want to put a claim in and drop Corum. You just might. So
you know what? I'll be waiting in the wings for everybody who does.